What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, and welcome back to another pre-match fan show and press conference reaction. Obviously, Mourinho's press conference has been done. The full press conference is up now on the channel if you want to take a look. But stay with us because we will be going through every word Jose Mourinho has said. The way this video is structured is we go through the press conference question by question. We give a little reaction, and then it is your chance to have your say on the big game at Goodison Park tomorrow night. If we lose, that is it for our league season, in my opinion. I think top four is completely done if we do lose. If we win, there is a slight opportunity if we can kick on from there. But as we've seen from this season, it is fairly unlikely. But there will be that glimmer of hope, won't there be?
Yeah, we've had many glimmers of hope, and we've had many missed opportunities this season. It's hard to characterise it in a certain way, but it feels like week by week we're getting opportunities, and week by week we're throwing them away as well. So yes, it's a tall order with Chelsea, Liverpool, West Ham, and Leicester all in our way to get to top four.
Yeah.
But as long as with Chelsea still in the Champions League and the FA Cup, Liverpool just got knocked out of the Champions League last night. But they're still having a difficult season. It's possible. It is possible we can snatch that top four if we go on a late run, but it's hard to see us do it.
Unlikely, but possible.
Very unlikely.
It's very unlikely, but possible.
Considering there's just so many teams in between us. But look, if we do go on a run, then we can snatch it. But it's all about us. It's about taking responsibility ourselves and not relying on other people. I know we have to rely on other teams to drop points, but they will. They play each other. West Ham play Chelsea, and other teams play other teams. Leicester have their last 3 games of Chelsea, Man United, and Tottenham. So
Chelsea got a massive 4 games at the end of their season.
Yeah, Chelsea have some tough fixtures as well. So look, if we take care of our business, then it's there for us. But whether we will do that is very unlikely, considering what we've seen so far this season.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to get on and have your say, do go to your community section. Silver and gold members, the link is in your community section right now. And everyone go and smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and give it a little share as well, because it does help the YouTube algorithms and really helps us be seen as well. So if you like seeing our content, do go scroll down, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and maybe give a little share as well. But let's get into Jose's press conference.
All right, let's go. Let's see what he's got to say.
Hello, Jose. Thank you for your time. Could you bring us up to date on any injury news, please?
Same. Good morning, everyone. Oh, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Doesn't even know whether it's morning or afternoon.
Doherty, Davies out. Let's say first team players, everything the same. Then Scarlett, that I can consider a first team player because he's working with us every day. He got injured in the Youth Cup match, and he will not be available for a couple of weeks, maybe.
Okay, I'm going to have to unmute you after every answer because it's a bit of feedback.
That's good news. But Dane Scarlett, a first team player?
Apparently now he
What
is.
do you reckon?
Well, I'd love it. I would love him to be a first team player, but he's not, is he? Because he doesn't play. I mean, he's on the periphery. I think he's training a lot with the first team. But
After we lose Everton, you'd be like, if only we had Scarlett available, if only, and then we would have caused some damage.
Exactly.
But look, it's good news. Only Davis and Doherty as expected. So yeah, it's all right. Let's keep going.
Back here, so you have to unmute yourself again now.
Okay,
There you
perfect.
go.
Jose, I hope you don't mind me asking, how's Sonny? Because he got a bit of social media abuse at the weekend.
I think it's okay. He's loved. He's loved here. He's loved at home. I believe he got the support that he needed here and at home. So I think he's fine.
Is that in reference to Ollie about how he's loved at home?
maybe it's a snide dig at Ollie. He definitely ate dinner last night. That's what he was saying. He definitely got fed.
You should have said that.
Yeah. You think that's the kind of thing that will affect Sonny, or you think you can brush it off and not let it affect him?
I don't think it's anything Sonny probably hasn't had to deal with before.
Yeah. Or the best way he's reacted was when that whole when that West Ham fan abused him, and then he went and scored against West Ham the next game. So he's had a track record of responding to this kind of stuff.
I'm pretty sure it happened against Millwall as well in the cup.
He scored a hat trick.
We beat them 6-0. I'm pretty sure he was getting abuse from the away fans that day.
That might be true. I don't remember that. That might be true. But he has a track record of kind of reacting on the pitch to this kind of stuff. So maybe
the guy has a spot on mentality, man. And I back him to overcome anything. So obviously it was completely vile abuse he was subject to as well as many other players this season. And it's all about responding to it in the right way, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's keep going.
Comments made by people, pundits included, about the way he went down, added to it, made it worse. Do you feel that comments made by people, pundits included, about the way he went down, added to it, made it worse? The social media abuse provoked people to abuse him?
Can you repeat, please?
Do you think the words of some after the match, including pundits, criticising the way he went down from being hit in the face, did that provoke people in social media to increase the abuse against him?
Prefer not to comment. I'm sorry, Gary. I'm sorry. I prefer not to comment.
Big 9 days coming up. Nice to get it underway with a good result at Goodison.
Yeah, but independent of the result at Goodison and the result against Southampton, as you say, big 9 days, and the 9 days are going to end with a cup final, which of course for all of us is going to be an important moment. So we are not depending on the Goodison result to go to that final with the best spirit, with the best feelings. But in this moment, the final is still a bit. I'm sorry, is still a little bit far, and of course, the Goodison match is very important. The distance between the two teams is very, very short. Of course, they have one match in hand in relation to us, but the distance is very, very short. They have similar objectives than us. They are going to fight with us and with other clubs to try the best possible position and see if we and them can get an European position. So it's an important match tomorrow. So we need to separate the waters. We need to say the cup final is important, but is not the match tomorrow, and we need to focus totally on a very difficult match.
Yeah, that's definitely true. This match is very, very important if we're going to at least stay in there come the final few games of the season. So he's right on that.
Do you think that if we lose this game tomorrow, that we rest a few players of the Southampton game?
No. Because I don't think Mourinho will have... I don't think Mourinho will... I can't see him just throwing in the towel even if we lose.
Even if we're 9 points behind?
Yeah, or 6 games. I don't think he'll throw in the towel just yet. Even though the fans would have. I don't think he would have.
I mean, a lot of the fans are ready.
Exactly. Do you think that was a fair question asking Jose if the Son, the pundits commenting on Son would have contributed to the abuse?
Was it a fair question? I mean, what's he going to say? Because I don't know. It's probably not, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit like, I know. Yes, the pundits were kind of harsh on Son, but like you can't blame them because some idiots have seen that, or even whatever they've seen, and then decide to racially abuse Son. That's got nothing to do with what pundits' opinions and stuff like that. So I think Mourinho was probably right not to answer that. He doesn't want to start accusing pundits of causing racism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not a good look. All right, let's keep going.
I know you've got a lot on your plate. I've been asked to ask you by my bosses, so I better do it. The players' unions, internationally and domestically, are asking for these new concussion substitutes to not be permanent, but to be temporary. So the player is more likely to agree to come off to be assessed because he knows he can go back on if everything's all right. Do you have any view on that in this busy time or not at the moment?
I think it makes sense, but I've learned over the past couple of years to be just quiet, and my opinion is not important, and to accept what is coming. So many different rules, so many things changing. You have just to accept the way it is. But in a very simple comment, I think it makes sense.
I know you're a fan of dogs. Do you like the Old English Sheepdog, your new sponsor?
What's that?
Dulux, their logo is an Old English Sheepdog. I know you're a fan of dogs. They've unveiled the club today a new paint sponsor. Just wonder whether you'd seen it and what you thought of it.
What's that?
Don't worry about it, man. It's fine.
No.
It's fine. Leave it, mate. You crack on.
Okay. Thanks, Gary. We'll go to George.
Oh, what was that? I get it. Like the whole Dulux caused a whole bit of a stir today with that awful social media. Whoever's responsible for that made a bit of a faux pas. But asking Mourinho if he's a fan of dogs. I mean, what are we doing here in this press conference?
I mean, these reporters need to.
Sometimes I wonder what's going through their head.
Literally.
Do you like sheepdogs, Joe?
All right, we're here for an Everton Tottenham pre-match press conference. We go to you. Do you like sheepdog, Jose? Get a grip,
Honestly.
man.
Oh man, that makes me wonder. He works for Sky Sports. He's asking Jose like sheepdogs, and that's what we can come up with.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Well, what can you do? But yeah, I don't know what that social media guy from Dulux was thinking before.
Ridiculous.
Like, just clowning on Spurs minutes
Absolutely.
after you've been announced their new partner.
Absolutely ridiculous. That
not a
guy's
good
got to have got the sack now, surely.
Yeah, probably. And people saying it's the quickest ever like sponsorship to like screw up, like within minutes in the Premier League. But yeah, all right, let's go.
George.
Thanks, Simon. Jose, hello. 18 points, I think you've dropped from winning positions. Can you expand? It sounded like you wanted to on Sunday as to why this has happened.
I know why it happened, and I know also that you can look at it in a different perspective. a team that starts matches well and start winning matches means something positive. Means something positive that you like to forget, the positive aspect of that. But I agree with you in the sense of when you are in winning positions and you lose points from winning positions, there are also negative things side by side to it.
But if you add them points on, you know, that really propels you up the league. What is the reasons? Why are the players? Why does it keep happening again and again?
That's what I'm not ready to discuss with you. I think it has to do with some of our qualities as a team, but I'm not ready to discuss with you.
When will you be ready to discuss that?
Maybe never.
Okay, we're going to go to Ellie Gold. Ooh. Ellie.
Didn't like being pushed on that. What do you feel? Because that's something actually is quite interesting, because I've said that before in terms of the amount of goals we've conceded. The amount of leads we've lost late in games is obviously awful, and we're all very frustrated. But on the other hand, like Mourinho says, do you agree with what Mourinho says there? But it does show something positive that you've had so many leads in a way. And that obviously it's awful that you've given away so many, and you should be winning a lot more games. But does the fact that you've set yourself up to win that amount of games, even though you haven't gone on to win, is that something to cling on to? As in the sense that something is working, but obviously you can't finish the job off.
Yeah, I mean, look, it points to there being quality within the side, that's for sure. But then the latter just points to the mentality and the attitude of the players on the pitch ultimately. I mean, yeah, we can get ourselves in winning positions, but we can't finish the job, and that's the most important thing. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I think it does show that there is quality in this team and there is something to work with. I think it shows that there's something to work with, but it all comes down to application. It all comes down to attitude and mentality.
Right. And what I'm saying is, like, when people talk about coaching and stuff like that, and always Mourinho passed it with his coaching styles, whatever, like, yes, the fact that we give up so many leads is definitely, a lot of it is down to Mourinho, how he the way he sets up the team to kind of soak up the pressure, and it's not obviously effective. But do you have to be a well-coached team to be grabbing so many leads going late into games? Does that like, can a badly coached team have that many leads, like, going into late games? Is that a thing?
Football is a 90-minute game.
Yeah.
And you need to be, you need to show a good team is coached throughout the game with game management throughout this game. It's not just a 45-minute game. So there are good elements, there are bad elements. So I think there's something to work with, but ultimately, not coached well enough.
But does that ultimately get overlooked completely? The fact that we do have so many leads and we've blown it. The fact that we've had those leads so consistently, or fairly consistently, going into late games. Does that, like, do you feel like, obviously he doesn't deserve credit if we don't. He doesn't deserve the whole credit if we don't end up getting the points. But do you think he's like, that's going being completely overlooked? That Spurs a lot of the times have been in the leads and in position to win, and we haven't taken it. But, like, being in a position so consistently shows something.
I don't think it has been overlooked. How many times have we spoken about how many leads we've dropped this season? Like, the main talking point of the season is how many points Tottenham have dropped from a winning position. And you've got to point yourself at the players, at the management. So I don't think it is something to even be to look too closely at. You've got to see out the game at the end of the day. And once we start doing that, then we'll start getting our praise.
Okay. All right, let's keep going.
Hey there, Jose.
Hey.
I noticed in the training photos this week, I know you often involve academy players in training, but there seems to be a lot of the development squad in this week. I just wonder if there was any reasoning behind that.
We did a training session in different groups and with different, even in different pitches, and we were trying to develop different qualities. And to do that, we separate our players in different groups and we need some young players to come and to help us on developing that training session. At the same time, it's not just about using them to try to develop our qualities, because every time they come to us is also a very positive experience for them. So the academy boss, Dean, is always very, very open. He likes to help us. He knows that we also help him, helping in the development of their players. So it was just a day that was good for us because they helped us, and was good for them because we helped them. But as I was saying in the first Gary question, we have 20 players available. Out of 22, we have 20 players available. It's not a question of injuries or not enough players or taking these young players to the next match. No, is not about that at all.
Can I just ask you, I know you talk about the defensive process a lot, about the whole team's defending, but how important is it for you to eventually settle on a centre-back pairing that you're going to use more often than not? Because obviously you've given a lot of equal time to your centre-backs this season.
You know, because one of the things that you sometimes, I'm not saying you personally, you general media, and also for players, the general perception is that everybody wants to play, everybody wants opportunities. When they don't do it, you are always asking for the players that are not playing and why they are not playing. So you can look at it in a different perspective. You can say, should play always the same two, or you can say is fair that kind of rotation that gives opportunities equally to everybody.
Okay, Mark Scott, have you got your hand up because you can't raise it?
What do you think of that? Do you think? Obviously, people have said they've criticised Jose for chopping and changing too much in the back four.
Yeah, and they've also criticised him for playing the same.
And they've also criticised him for playing players too often. Do you think he's... Obviously, our defence has let us down numerous times this season. But do you think he's given everyone a fair opportunity?
I think Rodon hasn't played enough. Apart from Rodon, I think Dyer, Sanchez and Toby have all had their fair cracks of the whip. I think that Toby, out of those three, I think has been the best performer out of the three. Out of the four, I think that from when Joe Rodon has played, yes, he's made a few mistakes here and there, but I think he's definitely been one of the top performers. So for me, I think that Toby and Rodon should be given a long extended run in the side. I said that back in, I think it was January, when we first went on that bad run, January, December. And I don't even think they've played together once. Maybe once. Have they played together?
Not in a two, I don't think.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, he's chopped and changed a lot, but most of the chopping and changing has been with one of Dyer or Sanchez or even both of them in the middle. And I think those two are the ones that have really let us down the most out of anyone in the centre-back position. So why not give Toby and Rodon an extended run in the team? I just don't get it.
Yeah. True. It's the only one he hasn't really tried, I guess. I guess all I can think his thinking is at the time is that Dyer and Sanchez obviously more senior to Rodon, so they're obviously going to get more opportunities. Well. They're obviously going to get the more opportunities earlier in the season, up until like January and stuff. Like they're going to be because they're more senior going into the season. They're obviously going to get the majority of the games then. But once they started screwing up as often, I agree with you. Rodon should have come in and should have been given more time. And I think we're seeing that now.
We are seeing that, but now Toby's banished, so we need to play Rodon with one of the guys that are screwing up every game. I don't understand this whole Toby being banished. Something must have happened. I mean, it happened before, early on in the season, when Toby got banished for like five games or so.
Yeah, but you have to remember that, beginning of the season, we were saying Toby's finished right after that game against Everton.
We were, or the first game of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then he came in and he's been our best centre-back this season.
Yeah, he has. He has been our best centre-back, but is that more because he's been great or because the other two have been rubbish?
The other two have been rubbish.
Yeah. So it's not like he's been it's not like he's been playing out of his skin, is it?
No, but he's been playing a lot better than the other two.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's keep going.
All right. Okay, Mark, we'll come to you and then we'll finish with Jonathan Veal. Mark.
Hi, Jose. Just looking at where the two teams are on the table, do you think that if someone loses on Friday, that's them out of the Champions League equation?
No, we are very close to each other, but there are more clubs around. There are some more with a few more points than us. There are a few others with a few less points than us, but I think with still more than 20 points on the table, I think it's still open. But of course, it's this kind of match where the winner gets the points and stop the loser to get them. Or if you draw, you stay basically in the same position. So understandably, I don't think anything is going to be decided in there. But of course, if one of the two teams wins, gets an advantage that can be important in the direct duel, not in relation to all the others that are around, but between Everton and Tottenham, if one team wins, of course, gets an important advantage to the other.
What have you made of Everton's season overall? Obviously, a little bit of a sticky patch recently, but overall, their campaign under Carlo, how do you think they're doing?
I think they go in the right direction. They got a big coach, one of the best in the world. They got important players and players of, I would say, two directions. I don't know how to explain, but they get, for example, a player coming from Real Madrid, a player coming from Barcelona, or two from Barcelona in the case, and at the same time they get the young guy that comes from Norwich. People from different not directions,
Backgrounds, different
formations, or but they have a very good squad, and I think this is just the beginning for them. I believe that with Carlo, quality, experience, the work, the squad improving, I think this is just the beginning for them. And of course, this Everton is different than an Everton of previous seasons, and for sure next season they are going to be different again for better. It's the start of a process, and nobody better than Carlo to be in charge. So I see a very good future for them.
And just finally, you've played them a couple of times this season in the league and the FA Cup. It depends obviously on injury updates from Everton, who's available. But what are the main strengths that you expect to have to counter against them on Friday?
They have everything, as I was saying, starting with a good coach. They didn't play Europe this season. They had complete weeks to work and to develop things. They can play in different systems. During the season, you can see how many different systems they played. They have talent in attack. They have quality in midfield. They have physicality behind. They can play with a back five. They can play with a back four. They have tactical culture. They are a team that you can see plenty of time to work and to develop. So they are a very good combination and a very good team.
Okay, Jonathan Veal to finish.
He's saying even if we lose, before you were saying even if we lose, we're still in the top four race because we're so close to each other.
Yeah, I mean, he has to say that though, doesn't he?
He has to say that, yeah.
I mean, he's not going to say, if we lose, it's all over.
Well, I don't remember the doc, or maybe it was because it was behind closed doors, but I can't remember what game it was. I think it was that West Ham game when it was just before that. I thought it was at half time when he was like, that one. I'm pretty sure you go to the team, like, if you don't win today, top four is gone.
He never said that in his press conference, though.
Don't remember. I mean, I don't remember watching press conferences last year, to be honest. I didn't watch too many of them. I've even watched them consistently this year. He probably wouldn't have said that in his press conference. So do you think he's saying that behind closed doors?
Probably. I think so. I think he's probably said it the last couple of weeks. Most definitely, I think he's said it. But in terms of reality, I think that this is the last point of call for our top 4 hopes.
Yeah, if we're really serious about getting back in the Champions League, then 3 points is a must. All right, last question.
Jonathan Veal.
Hi, Jose. We saw Matt Doherty in training pictures yesterday. Is he quite close to a return? And also, how long do you think Ben Davies will be out for?
It's risky to say. Matt Doherty did the warm-up with us. So if you saw Matt on pictures, he did the warm-up with the group and then immediately went to spot science for individual work. So it's not like he's ready for tomorrow. He's not ready for tomorrow. But he's coming. Ben Davies not even close to that. But I would say after 51 matches or so, I would say that we cannot is in a good situation.
Cool. Can I just ask, we've had confirmation this week that there's going to be 2,000 Spurs fans at the Cup final next weekend. Obviously, it's not as many as we were hoping for, but it's a good start.
The information I got is that I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but the information I got is that we are going to have 2,000 fans. Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
That's it? Oh, okay. Don't know what we're talking. All right, just confirming it. Yeah, not much really said, to be honest, in that whole press conference. Very much keeping cards close to his chest.
A lot of Jose's press conferences have been like that, haven't they?
Recently, but to be fair, whenever it isn't like that, he gets torn to shreds, doesn't he? So maybe that's why.
Maybe.
He's been a bit more reserved of late. But then again, you could say that maybe he's been too honest, and that's why he's kind of not said much. I don't know. He seems a bit subdued, doesn't he?
He has done for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, he has. But yeah, that is what it is at the moment with Mourinho not willing to reveal publicly why he thinks Spurs let go of so many leads. That was probably the main thing. Not much else.
But
really
do you really expect him to say why out in the open to the public?
No, don't expect any manager to really go that deeply and tactically publicly. So it doesn't surprise me that much. But it creates a headline, doesn't it? Mourinho refuses to say why Spurs dropped so many points.
Yeah. We had a comment before while the press conference was playing saying, just to clear it up, what happens if Chelsea win the Champions League and finish top 4?
It's irrelevant unless Arsenal or win Europa League and finish outside.
And what happens then?
Sorry. You're saying what happens if Chelsea win Champions League and finish top 4? It doesn't go to the league.
It goes to what?
It goes to
coefficient or
something like that. It doesn't go to the league.
Well, there's your answer. But anyway, let's start the pre-match fan show. Have we got people waiting? All you have to do to join is click the link in your community section. Gold and silver members, your link is ready and waiting for you right now in the community section. So if you want to come on and have your say, do go and click that link and come and join us. The first guest of the day will be Cody Mac. Cody Mac. Cody Mac.
What's up, Cody?
Hi, guys.
How you doing, man?
Doing all right. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, all good, my friend. All
Yeah,
good.
Okay.
Back up for it for this weekend. Back up for it to get ourselves let down once again tomorrow night. But how are you feeling coming into it? You back in the positive state of mind?
I will say I haven't lost hope totally. But yeah, I mean, now we're close enough now to the cup final that we have to be looking at these games as building blocks towards it. If we're being honest, top 4. I mean, which one is less likely? Us beating Manchester City or us finishing top 4? It's actually a bit of a tough question, but I'd say in a one-off, we probably have a better chance of beating City than we do of running the table and making top 4. So,
yeah, I agree with that.
We have to be looking at these games as steps towards building momentum because we've lost all of our steam in the context of the season, and there's just so many questions going to that cup final. Like who is going to start the cup final?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because especially with Joe Rodon, I think he's cup tied for the cup final. Mm-hmm. So the centre back pairing is going to be very, very dodgy, isn't it? But look, I don't think we can think too much about the cup final right now. We do have 2 games to play. Do you think that if we do lose this weekend, that Jose could potentially rest a few players against Southampton?
I don't know. I don't know. If we lose this game, yeah, I mean, like losing this game absolutely removes all hope for top 4. So It's not something that I really want to consider. Can we beat? The thing is, like, it depends. Are you saying like we can throw the game against Southampton? I don't know what the answer is to that, because if you're Jose, you'd have to think that if you lose to Everton and then you lose to Southampton and then you lose to Manchester City, it does not look very good for you.
Yeah, but this season doesn't look good for him on a whole anyway. But yeah, go on.
I was going to say, could winning the cup, if say we do go on a little run, we beat Everton, beat Southampton, and then beat City, could a cup final win against City really springboard us into the end of the season? Do you think a lot of momentum could be gained from that City game, or lost even if we do win the next 2 and lose that game?
It's possible, but I mean, how many times are we going to come into these games saying that if we play better, things will get better? The reality is we have not played better, not once. We haven't looked very good for weeks and weeks now, and it doesn't seem like no matter what's going on, whether it's the quality of the competition or the manager being in jail or what, like Dominic Calvert-Lewin doesn't play tomorrow. I read that and it didn't make me feel good at all. It made me think, they're going to get like a missing striker bounce. So it's pretty hard. Like until the players show it on the pitch, until we show that we can actually get a result, it's just very difficult to have much positivity, really.
What lineup would you like to see tomorrow?
See, this is an interesting question, because obviously the lineups going into this game and Southampton are going to be related to who starts in the cup. So I'll pose a question back to you this way. Okay, so if there are players that are being left out for attitude, commitment, loyalty problems, if Jose, who is a proven winner, and I'm not saying that his CV guarantees that we're going to win anything under his tenure or that we deserve to give him that benefit of the doubt, but if Jose is looking at our squad and seeing deep problems in terms of attitude, application, and mentality, should we be supporting Jose and burning it to the ground? Or should we be saying that regardless of what these players' behavior is, that we should be putting our most talented team on the pitch? It's a very interesting question. And so far, I mean, if you look like we've all been wondering what is going on with Toby Alderweireld, best center back that we have, and he's just completely on the outs right now. You'd have to say that if he was left out of Everton and Southampton, that he'll probably be left out of the cup final, because you're looking at a player now that hasn't played Premier League football in almost coming up on a month here. So I don't know what the right answer is, because what do we want? What do we want for Tottenham? We want to be at the highest level of football. So if Jose is looking at our squad and seeing rotten apples everywhere, and he is saying the only way to get rid of them is to get them out of the orbit and then get rid of them in the summer, I don't know if that's the right answer, if it's to sacrifice results now to clearly illustrate what the problems are. Do we trust Jose Mourinho?
You want to take this one?
It's a big question mark, isn't it? I do believe that with Jose having full control, he could definitely do better. And would I trust him with full control? In a perfect world, yes, but the reality is, I just don't think we're the right club for that. Unfortunately, just the way we're all set up, he's never going to get full control. He's never going to get how he thinks he likes. He's always going to need to adapt while he's manager of Tottenham, and he's not a manager who likes to adapt. He likes to have it his way, and that's just the big issue I have. I think if we did give him full control of everything and get his people in and out, then I'm sure he could do well. But that's just not the reality, unfortunately.
But that's like, why did we give him £45 million if we weren't going to give him control? Like it just doesn't make any sense. It's like hiring a train conductor and then making him sit in the passenger seat.
I do believe the pandemic did stifle everything because, we did start to spend money just before Jose came in. Obviously, we spent the most we've ever spent in that transfer window with Ndombele and Lo Celso. We've got this big, shiny new stadium that's literally printing out money pretty much, this stadium, when it's got fans in it. So I think that it did stifle him quite a lot. So
I know you look at the summer, people say we signed players. We did. We signed 7 players, but which one of them were high risk transfers?
Bale.
Except
high
Bale.
risk.
And even him, we didn't pay a transfer fee for.
Yeah, but we're paying him a lot in wages.
Okay, we didn't pay a transfer fee.
No.
Okay, well, based on that logic,
Reguilon has a buyback. Doherty's free. Go on.
Based on that justification of where we are, the COVID thing, and I do agree. Obviously, COVID has impacted Tottenham in a significant manner. Does that not say to you that regardless of the results this season, we should be sticking with Jose Mourinho going into next year?
It all depends if we can back him the way we plan. I actually genuinely believe when we first brought in Jose Mourinho, we planned to back him. I think we did plan for that, but I think that the pandemic did hit, and I think it scuppered all the plans that we had. So if we can't back him the way we wanted to back him, or the way he needs backing, then what's the point of him being here? Because we're seeing the job he's doing with these kind of players.
Yeah, exactly. And but also at the same time, if the big issue is money, why are we just going to let him walk away with £30 million while we need to sell players to buy players? Like it's like that poll that you put out. It's like 2 really crappy options.
Yeah, one of them has to be exactly, but that could be the reality. That could be the reality in the summer. We just don't know, but that could well be. But what's your prediction then for Friday night, Cody?
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Okay, so where we are in the table, the way Everton have played this year, do you think that we're in for a close game with them?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so brace yourself. Since November 8th, okay, if we're talking about both Premier League and Europa competitions, we have won 1 game by 1 goal.
Yes.
1 single game.
Against Fulham.
And the one game that we won, it was against Fulham. And that was really, if you're looking at it, we needed VAR to save our ass. Mm-hmm. So if we're going to be in a close game with Everton, do I back us to get 3 points? I mean, logically, I would say no. But 2-1 to Spurs. Let's go. Come on, you Spurs.
2-1. Love it. Always
come on, Cody. Come on.
Come on, Cody.
Let's go.
Big up yourself, and we'll hopefully speak to you after the game tomorrow.
Okay, cheers, guys.
Cody Mac. See you later, man.
And in fact, further to Cody's point, that 1-0 win against Fulham was our only game this whole season where we've led by 1 goal for more than half an hour and won.
And we had to be saved by VAR.
Yeah, it's the only game the whole season, out of 31 games, we are yet to hold on to a lead, a 1-goal lead for more than half an hour. And that is so poor, man. So poor.
It really is poor. But when you look at Everton coming into this game, 14th in the home form table this season. Low. And, everyone talks about how good of a season Everton have had.
And Ancelotti and how good the job he's doing.
That is disgraceful. I mean, not even like Martinez, Moyes, or any manager in the last kind of 10, 15 years would have been that low in the home table for Everton.
Yeah.
I know it's a weird season with the whole pandemic and no fans, but still.
Yeah, but they're wearing this away table.
4th.
Yeah, so it balances itself out, doesn't it?
Yeah, but can you imagine if they had, they were 7th or something in the home table? They'd be in the top 4, probably clear.
Yeah, they would be, but it's what it is.
All right, who have we got on next? Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
Yes, Charlie. How's it going, mate?
Hey, guys. Yeah, good. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you feeling coming into this game, or is that a silly question?
I'll be honest, Tottenham have just drained the life out of me these last couple of games, really. Like, as I said after the Newcastle game, Villa gave us a bit of hope, but then, as usual, it all just came crashing down, and the United game just topped it all off. Look, the thing that does give me a glimmer of hope for this game is Calvert-Lewin's out, which is a big, because we've seen when they've missed, they haven't had the likes of Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. They do tend to struggle to score, and we saw that against Brighton in their 0-0. They really didn't look at. I watched that game. They really didn't look like a threat at all.
They did score twice against us when Calvert-Lewin went off the pitch in the FA Cup game.
Yeah, well, I think that's more of us shooting ourselves in the foot.
Don't worry, Charlie. Bernard's injured as well.
Yeah, that guy. But that guy never scores as well. But
he scored against us.
Yeah, I know. But apart from that, he literally never scores. But anyway,
someone in the comments said Luca Dean is out as well. Is that right?
Luca Dean?
Oh, really?
No, I didn't read that. Maybe I didn't read that. I heard he's back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well. Everton away, you were saying about their home form. That gives me a little bit of hope as well. I just hope this whole Dr. Tottenham thing doesn't come back and bite us like it did in that Brighton game. First team to lose away at Brighton this season. So, look, as you said, we have to win this game. We really do. If we're going to have, for me, top four's gone already. But for the people that have that like slight 0.1%, this game has to be the one we win, and just to keep any kind of like glimmer of microscopic hopes alive of top four. As I've said it from a while now, probably since January, that despite the gap being, I said it last week before the United game, despite the gap being 1 or 2 points, I said there's 4 better teams than us in this league, and I don't think that we're consistent or good enough to get in the top 4. As well, with the press conference, I just want to say with Jose, when he was saying, he said it after the United game as well, about how he can't sort of tell us why we keep dropping these points in the last 10 minutes of games. And I just get the impression that it's either this might just be me, but he's giving off this vibe. It's like he's like saying, well, he either doesn't know or it involves spending a shitload of money. That's just the kind of vibe that I get off him, that he's saying that to try and cover himself up, that maybe he doesn't know. And that's something that's really frustrating, to be honest, that he's not. I just get the impression that there's not enough when it comes down to coaching. He's not doing the utmost to find a solution to this problem. And yes, the defense isn't good enough, and there's only so much he can probably do with some of these defenders. However, the bit that gets me with this manager is that, I'm sorry, for the attacking players we have, we should not look as blunt as we do going forward, especially in second halves. The way we sit back. Normally, when you sit back, the idea is to have a kind of threat on the counter. We don't even have that. Whenever we get the ball, we just lump it forward, and it just keeps coming back and back and back, and it's incredibly frustrating. So that's just something I wanted to point out, because that's just kind of the impression I get of him in this press conference.
Yeah.
The thing is, what I would say to that is, I think it's you'll find it very hard for a manager to come out in a press conference and tell you exactly what's wrong with the team, because then it just invites the other teams to work around that, and it'll give the other teams a bit of armory. I think it is clear to everyone what the problems are, but I think it's right for Jose not to say that in a press conference, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just my personal feeling anyway about that. Just the vibe that he gives me when I'm watching it.
Charlie, what sort of lineup would you like to see tomorrow?
This is going to be very interesting. The lineup, of course, I said it before the United game that the 2 centre backs have to be Toby and Rodon. This whole Toby thing is really pissing me off a lot, because as we know, he's our best central defender. It's a fact, and the fact that he's picking Eric Dyer, who's made about 1 million mistakes this season, who's cost us about 9 points, the fact that he gets in over Toby is just baffling to me. It really is. So for me, we have to, from now till the end of the season, including this game as well, we have to give Toby and Rodon a run in together, because I think Rodon, I've been quite impressed with him.
Come on.
Yeah, come on, let's go. I heard you say that before in the stream. But yeah, I think we have to give them an extended run. I think the fullbacks, obviously Lloris in goal, I'll just add. And then the fullbacks for me, I know Reguilon's been poor, but we know obviously Davies is out, and even a poor Reguilon's probably better than Davies. So you go with Reguilon there. Right back, Aurier's just wound me up these last couple of games. He started off the season well, but it's just these against Zagreb, he pissed me off for the third goal when it wasn't just him, it was him, Sissoko and someone else. They just let the guy run through and score. So look, I don't know, Tanganga, That's another thing as well that this manager's annoyed me about, the fact that he only sees Tanganga as a right back, which for me makes no sense, because in all of his youth development years, he's developed as a centre back, not a right back. And I actually think he's looked better when he's played in the middle for us. I know it hasn't been a lot, but last season and stuff, he played there against Liverpool.
He doesn't look completely comfortable at right back, does he?
No, he doesn't, and that's the big thing. He looks okay defensively, I guess. He did against Villa, but just going forward, he's not that type of player. It's not necessarily his fault, because he doesn't have the he hasn't been developed in that way where he can get up and down the pitch. He's been developed as a centre back, and for some reason, this manager sees him as a right back, and for me, that's ruining Tanganga at the moment. I will say that I genuinely do believe that, and that's
I don't think he sees him as a natural right back. What I think he sees him as like someone like John O'Shea, or like someone that ilk, who can kind of fill in a couple positions. Eric Dyer, but I don't think he's like, this guy's a right back and he can only play right back now. I think he just sees him as a guy who can fill in different areas of the pitch, and that's what he's using, because he's using left back, right back, centre back.
But ultimately, would that be better for his development or worse?
I don't know. Time will tell. It's a tough one.
Because it's like, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a jack of all trades or a master at none, or you want to be a master at your position?
I guess it depends of what Tanganga will be. Will he be like a John O'Shea kind of a squad filler career, or will he be a starter? I'm yet to be convinced.
Yeah, I don't know. We've never seen him have a big consistent run in the team, so we don't really know, do we?
But Charlie, let me ask you this. We've got a super chat here from Canadian Hotspur. It says, Bale to start to shake things up. Is it about time Bale gets back in the side for you?
Yes, I would put Bale back in, actually, because at the end of the day, right, we're pretty much top four is all but gone. We don't have, the only thing we've got left really is the cup final. So how I see it is, just go for it from now to the end of the season. Just have a go. Obviously against Manchester City, yes, we are going to kind of have to put all our men behind the ball. But for these remaining Premier League games, including tomorrow, just have a go. And by that means I would start Bale, because I think the way he was treated by Jose was stupid. The fact that he won one bad game and he's out the team completely, yet when other players have bad games, like Dyer earlier on in the season, he's continued to keep getting picked. And that's something actually that Danny Rose exposed to us in the documentary. I don't know if you remember it. He was saying how other players are getting picked when they're shit in training, shit in matches, and he's has one bad game and he's out the team for 5 matches. So that's something that I think I'd point out there. But and I think that's something that's happened to Bale. To be honest, it's a similar kind of situation. So I would start Bale tomorrow, because I think it's time to just get some time to bring him back in. I think it's that time. Just have a go, as I said. We just got to have a go. That's what I'd do anyway. We've got nothing to lose. We might as well have a go at them as well. In the midfield, I'll probably stick with the same Pierre and Tanguy in that midfield too. None of this Sissoko stuff. I do not want to see him play for Tottenham again. And then I'll probably move Lo Celso forward to the number 10. And then obviously Son on the left and Kane up top, because I think Lo Celso, he's looked a bit rusty since coming back from injury. However, I think this manager's playing him out of position. He's not a right winger. He is not a right winger. He's either a midfielder that can play in the 2, or he can play in the number 10 role. He's not a right winger. So I'll give him a go in the number 10 role. I think he'd do quite well there, to be honest. And then obviously Kane up top. So yeah, I just hope this manager doesn't cost us the game by his team selection like he did last time.
Charlie, back on Bale for a second before we let you go. Do you think that he would have had a much better season here if Jose wasn't our manager?
Potentially. It depends which manager it is.
Obviously, a manager that believed in him, let's say.
Yeah. I think so. I think if a manager that had full 100% belief in him, I think probably would have played him a lot more and probably would have got more out of him. And that's another thing as well, that Jose, just the way, yes, what he said about the defence was true, but the fact that he's throwing, but someone like Bale, who I just don't think has got kind of a fair go for large portions of the season. Yes, he had that run against Palace, I think it was in Burnley, but I just feel like it's, as I said, you can compare it to the Danny Rose situation that we saw in the documentary. One bad game and he's out of the team, when others, for whatever reason, all of a sudden just come in. Like you saw with Dyer, he all of a sudden just came in against Man United. So for Bale, yeah, I do think a different manager might have got out more out of him, and that applies to a lot of our attacking players as well. And it comes back to what I said before, that the way we look so blunt going forward sometimes. There's no way that should be happening with the attacking players we've got. No way. And that, for me, that comes down to coaching. So I don't think it's just Bale in this. I think that does apply to a lot of attacking players in our team, to be honest.
All right, and score prediction.
My look, I'm not confident. I'm not confident for any game at the moment. I think the Calvert-Lewin miss does give me more hope. The weird thing is, I can't see us losing. My head's saying it will be a draw because we know that, as I said, they're home form. So I think my head's saying 1-1. I'd love to predict a win. My heart's saying that we'll nick it 2-1. But I'm the type of person that normally goes with my head in these situations. So I'm just going to sit on the fence and go 1-1, unfortunately.
Yeah, I said the exactly same thing. So Charlie, thanks for coming on, mate. And we'll speak to you
soon.
soon.
Guys.
Cheers, mate.
See you soon.
See you, mate. Everyone, do go and scroll down, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. If you do want us to react to anything, do send it in a super chat or in a tweet.
Well, we've got a tweet here.
All right, let's go to Twitter. But if you do want us to react to anything, do tag us on Twitter or send in a super chat.
Rico99 says, I have a question. Do you guys think Amazon's filming cameras last season played a factor to prevent Jose from getting toxic?
Sorry, what's that?
Do you think the Amazon filming camera last season played a factor to prevent Jose from getting toxic?
Oh, from toxic. I thought you said top six.
No, toxic. We got top six.
Could be. I don't know. But Jose did kind of get a tiny bit toxic at the back end of last season when we were getting all those injuries and stuff. But then he kind of rejuvenated himself over lockdown,
After
didn't
lockdown.
he? I don't know. It's hard to say. But he's definitely toxic now.
Yeah, I don't think it was that toxic last season. Like, I don't think it was that.
I think last season was too quick to turn toxic.
Yeah, it was too quick. And Danny Kiriakou says, Ben, you hit the nail on the head about Jose. I think Enoch did plan to back Jose, but pandemic effed it up. Question is, can the pandemic cause Jose to lose his job because Spurs can't back him 100% the way they plan to? Is Jose right for a second pandemic window?
In my opinion, no. I think that Jose needed the backing, like full backing. And I don't think he can do it in anything less. I really don't think he can. What's your opinion?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think if we're going to have Jose, it needs to be his way. He needs to do it completely his
way or the highway.
It needs to be under his control. And if it's not under his control and he has to adapt to other people's things when it's not his stuff, I feel like he because of his like Josh King says, because he's got such a big ego, and I do think he has such a big ego. It's true, and I feel like he kind of thinks my way is the best in a way in that sense. And if he doesn't get it fully his way, he starts getting upset and he starts getting toxic and everything like that. And that's the problem. Yeah, and that obviously that's not what we want. So I do feel like he might not be the right guy for a pandemic window. But if we are going to have a proper window, then he could be the right guy.
Yeah, but look, I agree with you, but there's no chance this window is going to be anything like a proper window.
Yeah, I can't see it. Very, very unlikely, unless...
especially because we haven't had fans in stadiums all year.
And especially if no Champions League as well.
so heavily on that money coming out of the stadium.
And if we get no Champions League.
Yeah, exactly.
I just can't see it.
Exactly. All right, it's time for Brian Daigle, two-time quiz winner.
Champion!
Absolute champion, Brian Daigle.
How you doing,
Brian,
boys?
how's it going, my brother?
All good here, boys. How are you?
Yeah, all good. I mean, we've still taken a heartbreak from last weekend. We're back up for it for this weekend, all to go through it all over again. How are you feeling coming into it?
Do you know what? The fact that it's a Friday is really... I mean, all the days of the week during this pandemic has, like, messed up. But playing on a Friday is very, very weird. Like,
just as we're lighting our candles, Brian.
I know. We can't watch the game. Actually, it's early for me. We can. You can't. I'll do it because you're going to have all your lights off.
All right, don't tell God. Don't tell him.
Or have someone else turn on the TV for us in the studio for the watch along. Don't worry.
Good thinking. Yeah,
let's just see what happens. Let's just hope it's not a repeat of the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. But look, going into this game, Everton without Calvert-Lewin, is that a big plus for you? Do you think that gives us an extra opportunity, or do you think it doesn't make too much of a difference at this point?
You know what? It should make a huge difference that their main striker is out. But right now we're in such a mess. I don't think it makes a difference. I mean, these players owe us a performance. Mm-hmm. It's not even about the result, right? But they need to put in a performance. The last 2 performances have been pathetic. Mm-hmm. So they need to focus on. We need to focus on us. Forget about them. I mean, the main one I'm happy about, if it's right that Luca Dean is out, is why I would definitely start Bale.
Yeah, I'm not sure how true it is, but someone just mentioned it in the live chat. So
I don't think it's not what I've seen. I think he's fit. I don't think I've seen anything that Luca Dean is out.
That's the one. I mean, that's the one, because then hopefully Bale could have a field day. We got to start playing him, like Charlie said. It's got to start.
Take me through the lineup that you'd like to see start.
So it's like you said when you were just talking about right back, Ben, about Tanganga, jack of all trades or master of none. I've got 2 words for you: Matt Doherty.
Matt Doherty's a jack of
right wing back.
Matt Doherty's a jack of no trades and master of none either.
Exactly, but we bought him as a right wing back to play at right back, and he hasn't even been able to adapt to that.
Yeah,
Japhet Tanganga is a centre back and needs to remain a centre back. So a right back, I think we should have our new signing, Dulux the dog. Jose just needs to chuck a ball up and down the touchline; he'll get the work done.
Brian, we've got enough gooners at right back. Do we really need another one?
So I mean, I don't. Right back is the big mystery right now. I really don't understand who to play. Toby and Rodon in defence. The thing I'm worried about with Rodon though is Jose Mourinho needs to play the best defender for 4 games and drops them out.
Yeah.
And Rodon's played 4 games, so I'm a bit scared. Left back, I would say Reguilon. I would, but he's been so poor right now.
Got no
Just
choice.
because his name is Sergio Reguilon, does he deserve? You know what I mean? If Ben Davies is fit,
he's not fit. He's not fit.
Okay, so let's start that again. Left back Reguilon.
Left back Gareth Bale. Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's get classic Gareth Bale back at left back, or let's get Sessegnon back from Germany. Fly him in. But also, I mean, the one thing it may be an unpopular opinion, but I think we need to give before the Carabao Cup final, we need to rest Højbjerg. I don't really care about the league anymore. Højbjerg, this will be his 53rd game.
Wow.
And he's played 90 minutes in a majority of them. And like you said on the last game against United, he played well, but this is not the Højbjerg that we had come October, November, December.
Correct.
The Carabao Cup is a must. I'm not saying he needs to be rested in this game, maybe even Southampton, but he needs to have a rest. Ndombele, I start Lamella because Lo Celso just isn't doing it for me at right wing. Or Bale, sorry, I said Bale. So let's go back on that. Bale, Mora, Son, and of course Harry Kane.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that, to be fair. I think maybe Aurier at right back. I know he's been shocking, but we've got no one else really. So I think Aurier has to play right back, Reguilon left back, and Toby and Rodon centre back. I think you're spot on with that lineup. If that's the defence, what scoreline are you going for?
So this part, I've got to have a little chat now. I know you've got Bob Spur and Jack in the background, and Will.
By the way, Brian, before you think, you can see Will in the background there, yeah?
Yep.
Doesn't he look like Eric Dyer today?
I love Will, so I'm going to say no comment. But these guys will know. On the 2 shows that we've had of the Friday with the 2 Brians, Brian Ireland and I have now come up with we guessed the exact score, and the panelists all have a guess as well. And if Brian and I get the score right, or one of them get it right, me and Brian have to do all the forfeits.
Oh boy!
And it's getting wildly out of control now.
What have the forfeits been?
So I've gone for 2-0.
What have the forfeits
I've gone for 2-0 us. Say again?
What have the forfeits been?
So
Bacon
Bob
on
Spur
Shabbos
has said that every 15 minutes, if one of us get it wrong or Bob gets it right, that in our podcast, every 15 minutes, regardless of who's speaking, we have to dance on the spot and sing I'm a Barbie girl for no reason whatsoever. Every 15 minutes. Cody has come up with I've got to shave my hair, shave my beard, wear a suit, and have a name tag saying I am Daniel Levy. Brian Ireland has been challenged. If we win 2-0, Brian likes to have a couple of beers or ciders during the game. If we win 2-0, he's got to take the sock off of his foot, put it over every can of cider, and drink his cider through his sock.
Oh, God.
You got the worst one.
These are just a few of them. And Jack's had a few, but they're all tell you it's getting kind of out of hand. So anyone watching the show tomorrow after the Everton game, go back onto the Two Briars when we kick off at midnight, because it will be done live on air.
We should get involved in
I
that.
love the sound of that. That sounds brilliant.
You should do a forfeit live on the channel. You should think of one.
That's what we're going to do. If the score comes in when we go live on Friday at 7 o'clock, whoever got the shows, and Jack's coming on, so I know Jack's got a couple of them.
No, I'm saying live on here. You should do a forfeit.
Okay, I'll play this game along with you, but you two are coming on. You've got to come in. You've got to give us some of your predictions and give your forfeits in.
Sure.
We will give you our cup final predictions. I think it's a week today, right? Or a week yesterday.
Yeah, so we're playing next Sunday, and you're coming on Monday. So, yeah, we'll take your predictions, and if you get it wrong, you're going to join in the forfeits if one of us get it right, yeah?
Sounds good to me.
100%. As long as it doesn't involve wearing any sort of red or Arsenal shirt, I'll do anything else.
So I said that, but Brian has said if Brian wins 2-0, I've got to have him red lipstick, love Gooners on my cheeks.
Oh, my God.
But that's why.
It's too much, man. Too much.
Yeah, but I'm not shaving, so you won't see anything.
Okay, cool.
Very good.
Technicality. But yeah, we'll be doing that. So fingers crossed for a bloody 2-0.
All right.
Let's hope.
Come on, Brian.
All right,
guys. Brian, mate.
Have a good day, boys.
As always.
Have a good Shabbos.
And you. See you later, boys.
Come
See
on.
you tomorrow.
See you later, mate. Who have we got any tweets or super chats to look at?
Not super chats, a few tweets. Someone says opinions on Lamella speculation. From Ross Ballum.
I think in terms of Lamella, I do think it's time for him to go. I think that we can't get him on the pitch as often as we want.
Mm-hmm.
He's been here for a long time now, without putting too many trees up. Look, he's had an all right season this year, but we just still haven't been able to get him on the pitch.
Is it a case
enough.
of just see how much you can get? It doesn't even matter that even if it's like 5 million, do you still sell him?
Yeah, his contract's up in a year, so
you just get as much as you can.
Pretty
sell
much.
And
I can't see us offering him a new contract.
Yeah, me neither. Then one says, I have a question. Do you guys think we will get a centre-back in? If so, who? Yes, we better get a centre-back in.
I got a feeling we're going to get this Anderson.
It's the rumours are hotting up about Anderson, aren't they? They seem fairly reliable as well, so wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being
Would
him
you be
and one
happy
other.
if we just got Anderson and no one else at centre-back? No.
I like Anderson, but I think we need another one with him.
So you want Anderson and someone else to start next season, like an Anderson and a Botman, or someone more than that?
I'm greedy. Maybe obviously I want an Anderson and like a Skriniar, but
Skriniar's not happening.
Yeah, I don't know which two. I have to have a think about it. Anderson, I wouldn't look. Anderson's good age, 25. He's a leader. He's got good quality. He's got ability to develop. I do think he would be a good one, but whether it would be enough to improve us to where we want to be is a good question. And El Cuco says, we've been so terrible for most of the part of the season, but somehow we're still in the top 4 race. If we had any chance of challenging for the title, or at least putting ourselves out there as a threat to the likes of City and Liverpool, this would have been the season. City, I think, have come on very strong, haven't they? So I think even in a normal season, they're still going to get a lot of points at this rate. So I don't think a title challenge at this point it was ever likely. But
again,
I think top 4,
you've got Man City. Yeah, they're a brilliant side, but they've been praying whole season without a striker.
Yeah.
In a normal season, do you really think they'll be clear at the top? Because I don't.
In a normal
season, I don't
season,
think this Man City team is as strong as it has been the last 3 or 4 years.
Maybe not. Well, actually, I do think
because their defense has obviously improved massively.
Yeah, a lot. And that was their big Achilles heel last year.
Yeah, but I think their attack has gone down.
Yeah, but they've improved so much their defense.
Yeah.
So
they didn't need a defense those years.
Huh?
They didn't need a defense because their attack was so good.
Yeah, I know, but you win games differently, don't you?
Yeah.
And I think their defense has come on so much. Like they barely concede now.
Or what I'm trying to get is that they were more easy on the eye those years than they are now.
Yeah, but doesn't mean they were much better.
I think they were a better footballing side then.
Yeah, but I still think even in a normal season it would be maybe like Liverpool would have been closer or whatnot because of their injury problems, but I still think they would have won the league. And I remember at the beginning of the season I predicted them to win the league.
We both did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. But I think that in a normal season as well, I do think they'll be further away from Man United than they are. But I do think Chelsea, with a season under their belt, Tuchel with a pre-season, I think they're going to come back strong next season.
Want to see? Yeah, it's different. But I think look, they're a very good champions at the moment, Man City. I don't think it's a case of they're winning it by default. I think they're earning it.
They are earning it, but if they didn't have all those problems this year, they'll be running them close, for sure.
Closer. Well, how close it would have been, who knows?
Well, with Van Dijk, I mean, they had the best defence in the Premier League.
Yeah, but they did lose 7-2 with Van Dijk, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. All right, let's get Bob on.
Bob Spur
Come on,
TV.
Bob. How you doing, mate?
How you doing, guys?
You try and do the Adebayor?
Yeah, mate, don't. No.
How you doing?
All good. I just think it's ironic we're speaking about dogs to a guy who can't hold on to leads. It's crazy. That's what I wanted to talk about, really. The narrative. I mean, today's, you know my feelings towards Jose. But I think the media, today's press conference was well weird, don't you think?
It was weird. It was.
It's being asked, if you had those 18 points, where would you be? Well, you'd be up. You'd be further up. You know, it's like asking Pep if he hadn't lost 2 games all season, where would he be? Or you know, it's a hypothetical, silly question, really. And I just think the agenda from the media is getting a bit more and more prominent towards Jose, which is a shame because he has done a few wrong things, i.e., lying in the press conference. But today's was weird, guys. I don't know what you feel. It was just, you know, dogs and paints and, you know, what ifs and all that.
It was a bit of a strange press conference. And also I think Mourinho didn't either seem happy with some questions or he just seemed a bit, I don't know, low energy when answering them. Maybe the scale of the job is starting to get to him or something. I don't know, but he doesn't seem happy at the moment. His body language you can definitely see that in press conferences. But we do have a game this weekend, and we know things change very quickly in football, and a win can change a lot in terms of where the season's going. How much hope do you have going into tomorrow that we can get all 3 points? And does Calvert-Lewin being out improve your chances drastically for that?
We've had so many high hopes. You know, we've had so many must-win games, and we've not turned up. Irrelevant of, you know, but we had a manager in prison and we couldn't beat a team. You know, the faith is slowly but surely dwindling. Obviously, if we're running it via the heart, then we'll always say Spurs to win, and I'm still saying we'll win tomorrow. But it's just getting harder and harder, and it's getting harder and harder to defend Jose as well for the things he's doing and the choices he's making. I mean, I still say 2-0, 2-1. But
to who?
It's one of those things. We wouldn't be surprised, will we? And that's the saddest thing about it. If we drew or lost tomorrow, it's not a massive shock, and it'll be, there we go, we've lost another game again, which is such a shame.
A lot of people coming on calling for Toby and Rodon to start centre back. Are you feeling the same?
Yeah, I've been saying it for a while, Ben. I said it I think about 3 or 4 months ago. I think Toby and Rodon. I mean, back then we had loads of games, the Europa and obviously the Cup. We had a few games as well. But it's so important. Rodon gets sponges as much experience off Toby right now, especially 1 game a week, apart from the game leading up to the Cup final. There's no reason Toby can't play every game. And I think it'll be invaluable for Rodon, because personally I think Rodon will become a proper first teamer next season, and for him to have a few games this season and going into next season as a first team, outright first teamer, get as many games, as much experience as he can, ideally alongside Toby, so he has got that bit of clout about him next season. But Toby, Jose should put all his personal feelings and anger and opinions towards one side and play the best defender in our team, who everyone knows is Toby.
Yeah, and even I'm just looking at the stats in terms of when Toby has started in the league and compared to when he doesn't, and it's like he's started 18 games this season in the Premier League. We've won 10 of them, lost 6 and drawn 2, and the 13 he hasn't started, we've only won 4 of them. So clearly, like, we're a lot stronger on as a team when Toby does start. Obviously, whether you can draw too many conclusions is another thing, but it does seem like whenever we have a bad game or a bad defeat, like Toby seems to be one of the fall guys from that, and he's left out for a few weeks. And yes, we haven't defended perfectly when Toby's been on the pitch, and he's not like a saviour or anything, but we definitely are better with him in the team than without the team. So it is a bit perplexing that he continually leaves him out.
And that'd be fine, Sim, if he was doing it with everyone else, mate. You know, if
he is kind of. You can say he is.
But he didn't drop Dyer. Dyer was having 20 games or
but now he has dropped Dyer.
He has dropped him now, yeah. But yeah, I just think it's obvious. It's not one of those things that might be. Oh, do you think there's no question mark? There's less of a question mark alongside Toby. Obviously, we've got the pace issue and all that. That's fair enough, but his experience accounts for that in my eyes. But there's less of a question mark. All our defenders have question marks. I think there's less of a question mark about Toby than there is on anyone else. And I think him against Rodon will be invaluable going into next season, never mind this.
Do you think that if we approached the game in the same way we did in the Cup game, I know we lost 5-4, but in my opinion, we played very well that game and one of our best performances of the season, actually. If we approached the game in the right way and like literally just go at them from the off, and do you think we win this game or have a much better chance of winning this game at least?
Don't know. Honestly, I don't know. That's what it's come to. I don't know which Spurs are going to turn up, how we're going to attack, and that's unfortunately down to Jose. Lloris, Højbjerg, possibly Dembele, Sonny and Kane are the 5, potentially 4 people who we know are going to start tomorrow. Apart from that, I don't know what identity we're going to play with, what formation we're going to go. We're still going to question, are we playing 4-3-2-1 or 4-3-3 or whatever. It's all up in the air, Ben. I don't know, mate. Honestly, don't know. I hope we attack, but then suffice to say we need to defend better. And then he's going to pick, if he picks Dyer and Sanchez, then we've got Bob Oak, haven't we?
What's your prediction? Oh, you said 2-0 Spurs, 2-1 Spurs.
Yeah,
just about
2-0 or 2-1, mate. Yeah.
Yeah,
great
very optimistic, but we'll see what happens, eh, Bob?
That's it, mate. Yeah.
All right, well, Bob, have a good evening, and hopefully we'll get to see you tomorrow as well.
See you in a bit.
Nice
to speak to you, mate.
Thank you, mate. Cheers. Come
on. We got a chat here from Grandpa. And he says, Grandpa Brian says 2-1 to Spurs for the Cup final, but only if Aurier starts at right back and Lamela plays.
Interesting. Although Aurier against United was so bad, man. He was so bad, and that really annoyed me. But
a lot of Spurs fans were getting excited on social media when the date for the semi-final of the Champions League was announced.
Yeah,
Man City plays on Tuesday, 2 days after the Cup final. They also play a few games before the Cup final as well. Does that have any bearing of anything for you?
Not really. I mean, it has a tiny bit, but not really. Like minuscule, like less than 1% difference. Like, yeah, maybe the only thing I don't even think it's about personnel. The only thing I can think of that could maybe benefit us is they could take their eye off the ball and concentrate more on the game on Tuesday or Wednesday, as opposed to, it's not about quality thing, because when it comes to quality, their second team is more than good enough to beat us.
They've got 2 sides that are capable of winning the league.
Exactly. Well, if Walker doesn't play, it's Cancelo. You know what I mean? If Foden doesn't play, it's Bernardo Silva. So Sterling doesn't play, it's Mahrez. All of those players get into our team.
Yeah.
So it's not a case of are they going to put out a side that is good enough to beat us. The only thing I can think of is maybe the side they put out, they got one eye on the Champions League game, thinking, oh, maybe I don't want to get injured for that game, because it's a big game for them, semi-final.
Massive, and especially where the Champions League's gone for them in the last few years.
Yeah, and a chance for them to get to the Champions League final for the first time in their history, remember. So this is a massive, you've got to say it's one of the biggest games, if not the biggest game in their history.
Yeah.
So they might very well have an eye on that. But in terms of quality on the pitch, won't make a difference.
I completely agree. Want to look at some tweets?
Well, here's one here from Josifa. Says, the fact that we dropped 18 points from winning positions, which, by the way, would have put us second over Man United, really haunts me. Other than hopefully investing in new defenders, what else do we need to do to challenge for top 4 at least? Well, clearly, if we were able to hold on to at least half those leads, we'd be in the top 4. So I think that's like the main thing. But obviously, the amount of time that we've just looked poor going forward and in possession, that also definitely needs to change, and we need to be a much better goal-scoring team.
For me, it's in possession where it really lets us down, because we just misplace so many of our passes. We're putting ourselves under too much pressure week in, week out, and that's what's letting us down. You know what I mean? We can play this style of football that Jose wants to implement, but we need to get our passing right. We need to be able to kind of retain the possession when we've got it, and we just can't seem to do that. But let's get Jack on.
All right.
Yes, Jack. How's it going, my friend?
You guys. Not bad. I have a question, though. What do you guys feel about sheepdogs?
About what? Sheepdogs.
You know what? I do love that Dulux dog, I must say. He's very cute. And when he's chasing around
look pretty cute on the sideline.
Yeah, he's definitely faster. He's more mobile than Dyer, I think. So
I don't like Gooner dogs.
Yeah, that's fair.
Huh?
Why is he a Gooner dog?
Because they were rinsing Spurs on social media.
Oh,
yeah.
So it could be Chelsea.
Nah, he's a Gooner.
Could be West Ham. Why is Gooner? But yeah, it was very strange. I'm not sure about the social media guy, but I like the dog. No, I'm a big fan of the dog. But what's your opinions going into this game, Jack? Are you hopeful we can get all 3 points?
Yeah, I feel like I would echo what other people have said. I don't see us losing this game. It's just whether we can really pull out the 3 points is the question. Without Calvert-Lewin is a huge miss for them. And also no Yerry Mina, I believe, is a huge miss for them as well. And he's a huge presence for them in the air, on corners, as well as defensively as well. Probably their best center back. So that could be a big miss for them. So when I found out that Yerry Mina is gone, I am backing that Gareth Bale inclusion for the starting lineup, because that just could add a bit more trouble to that back line with some of the balls that he can put in the box.
If we start the game in the same way or have the same attitude and application, I know we conceded 5 goals that day, but in that game when we lost in the FA Cup, do you think that we can kick on and win this game?
I think we should. Yeah, I think we should be able to kick on and win this game. I forget if it was either you, Ben, or Sim, but one of you made a good point that I feel like Everton did kind of just put away all their chances, or just put away all their shots. It wasn't actually. They really did in a sense. I don't really like to quote XG, but they really did outperform kind of the XG, and it really did look like actually kind of the better team for the majority of that game. It just happens that we have a leaky defense, and they took their chances really well. So I could see it being, in a way, kind of a similar kind of up and down match, but with Calvert-Lewin gone and, with some of their players returning from injury, maybe not fully up to pace, and with Yerry Mina gone, we could maybe really dominate this game, especially with a pretty full squad.
Yeah, I agree. But in terms of, you said you're backing Gareth Bale to start. Do you think Mourinho will start him? What do you think Mourinho will go for in the front line? Because we've got a lot of choices, because, Lamela has been one of our more informed attackers, but he doesn't seem to get a start. Lo Celso, he's a massive fan of. Lucas has obviously been in great form, and then there's obviously the Gareth Bale situation, and even someone like Bergwijn, who we haven't seen in months. Who do you think he goes for?
I actually don't think he'll probably go for Gareth Bale. I just think that would be a clever inclusion. In terms of Lamela, I kind of have been agreeing a lot lately with what Will Stewart has been saying about Lamela. I think his one-footed kind of nature, or his ability, has really started to let him down recently in some of our attacking plays, or in some of our big chances. Recently. Definitely recently. But the Rabona goals can definitely always save him. And, one-footed players that can always be really brilliant. Mahrez, Robin of the past are always really good one-footed players. But I think recently it's definitely hurt us. And I wouldn't want to see Lamela included, at least in the starting lineup. I think Lucas would make sense. Probably that's the likely one. But personally, I think it'd be smarter to include Gareth Bale for this match just to really make the Everton defenders think.
Back on Lamela for a second, with all these reports over the last couple of days that he could be going back to Italy at the end of the season. How do you feel about that? And would you offer him a new contract, or would you just take as much as you can get for him in the summer?
I think he's been a really good servant for the club. I really love his tenacity, but yeah, I think we just take what we can get for him. I forget which Italian club, but I think it's Bologna or maybe Crotone or someone that's linked with him.
I saw a link
I think
to
he
Milan.
should make.
Did I see a link
To Milan?
to
Wow.
Milan today, Sim?
Yeah, it was Napoli and Milan. Yeah,
Napoli and Milan. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
good for
that was the
him.
rumour.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
good for him.
if that's the case, then I think it's smart for him to move on. I think maybe that tenacity and kind of that shithousery is still very welcomed in the Serie A, and I think he could, finish out his career there. I think he's been a good servant though, nonetheless. It's just kind of recently I definitely have been frustrated with him, and I think we should move on and just find someone else. Like I don't know, like it'd be tough to find another kind of replacement kind of left footer, but Rafinha, Pedro Neto, but those could be expensive.
I would love either of those. I think they've both had such good seasons.
Yeah, they're going to be expensive.
Rafinha, I love as a player. I absolutely adore him as a player. I think he's a magician with the ball at his feet. But on the game, what's your score prediction?
I would go 2-1. Like I said, I don't see us losing. I wouldn't be surprised if this finished 1-1, but I could see 2-1, 2-0. I really don't see us losing this game. Then again, when Dr. Tottenham shows up and Everton's home form, shows up, and who knows really. But it's hard for me to see us lose this game. I mean, I can't wait to be proven wrong, but it'd be tough for us. It'd be pretty shocking to see us lose.
Agreed.
Well, I for one can very much wait for you to be proved wrong on this one. But Jack, thank you so much for coming on yet again, man, and we'll see you next time.
Appreciate it as always. Thank you, guys.
Come on.
Josh King with a DM. Josh King's been DMing us. He says, for the show, if Jose leaves and we do not get Nagelsmann, what would your next pick be? Mine
Nagelsmann
is
ain't
Graham
coming.
Potter. Huh?
Nagelsmann ain't coming. I really can't see Nagelsmann now.
Yeah, at this rate,
Nagelsmann's going to Munich.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
He says, who'd your pick be? He says, mine is Graham Potter. And that's what I said in terms of someone who shown with inferior players, he can get them playing football and getting them create chances. And although, he's managing a Brighton side near the bottom, and you might want a high caliber manager, he's shown what he can do with inferior players against better sides. And Brighton have been unlucky in a lot of games this season.
That's what I was about to say. We've been saying all season quite consistently how, they've been in a false position. They've been playing well, but not getting over the line. We've been playing shit and not been getting over the line. So I think that with Graham Potter, I think Graham Potter could be the guy. And he wouldn't be as expensive as kind of...
But what the only caveat I would say about Potter is just what it's saying about the club, where we go from Poch Champions League nights to Mourinho, like, okay, one of the best managers ever. Now we're going Graham Potter.
But Poch wasn't seen as like some big manager before he came. He was a manager from Southampton that had a couple of good seasons at Southampton.
Yeah, but at least they were like 8th or 7th. They weren't.
This
17th.
is Brighton we're talking about, though.
Yeah, it's also a good point. But in terms of Potter's obviously done a good job. And he's kept Brighton up, but in terms of like league position, he hasn't done better than Chris Hughton in that sense. Yes, they play better football than they did under Hughton, but in terms of results, it's not that much better.
Yeah, but you can see a scope for it improving big time in the future.
I agree, but the only thing is
you can see Brighton are going the right direction.
I'm just saying, if from a club point of view, say you're looking to sign for Spurs, or Spurs are looking at a player and they see they've just replaced Mourinho, Graham Potter, I don't know what kind of signal that sends out.
Yeah, I mean, right at the beginning, maybe not. But once you see what he's all about, and let's say he does improve the club or start to do a good job, then I think everything will fall into place.
I think an appointment like Graham Potter would probably mean he could get a lot more, I would hope, of the attacking players that we have and the way we play football. That's what I'd hope for. And Guardiola has actually said, in his opinion, Potter's the best English coach in England right now.
Really?
That's what he says. He's the best English coach. That's what he reckons.
Yeah, in terms of me, who I want as manager, a manager than Potter right now, there's no two ways about it. But what I was saying about Scott Parker, I always said that he needs to keep continuing his development. I never actually said that I wanted him in next season. Mm-hmm. So I think that Parker's going the right way, but he hasn't done enough in management just yet to kind of warrant a big job like that. So I think that he needs a few more years of development. I think if Jose does stay till the end of his contract, I think Parker could be a good option if he keeps going in the right direction. But if it's for now, for next season, it's got to be Potter between the two.
I also got a message. Would you consider Lampard?
No.
No. Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I would take Parker this year instead of Lampard.
Okay.
Let's get Will Stewart on. And before you come on, Will, I have to apologise for that before, because you were just sitting in an angle where you slightly look like Eric Dyer. You don't look like him anymore.
Looking like Eric Dyer? Does that help it a little bit?
How you doing, Will?
I'm doing good, fellas. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good, thanks. How are you feeling coming into this game?
Concerned, conflicted, just kind of in a weird mood. I find it, I use football to kind of escape politics, and it seems like it's getting fairly political nowadays. So, especially with all the Jose Mourinho type stuff. So, I'm a very literal person. So people who like press, who I guess you could say exaggerate facts, really annoy me. And so I end up having to defend them regardless who they are. So coming out of, even though I'm not in that political party, I had to defend the previous 4 years a couple of times because people just straight out lied about reality. And so I find myself doing that with Jose too. And it's kind of
facts about Jose have been taken too far?
Oh, that like he's thrown the players under the bus any more times than like Pochettino has, or, you know, like he's been this much more this and that. And when you really go back and look at it, you know, Poch threw players under the bus lots of times. Just nobody cared.
What's wrong? I just want to get the camera on him. Yeah.
I don't know what just happened there. Look, I don't know what just happened there. Will, coming into this game, what kind of lineup are you expecting to see?
I wish I could say, man. I wish I could say. I have no idea.
Or who do you want to see? Who do you want to see? Put it that way.
Who would I want to see? It would be a Reguilon, Toby, Rodon, Aurier, Ndombele, Højbjerg, Mora, Son, Kane, Bale. I think that's our best 11. That's who I always put out for my. We tend to on the show. We tend to do two predicted lineups. What you think Jose will pick and who you want.
Yeah.
And so that's always the one that I pick for who I want. So.
And what changes? I know you said you don't really know, but out of that, who do you think? I know you'll probably say Bale won't play if it's under Jose, but who else?
Toby probably won't play.
What is this issue with Toby? I just don't get it. It's really starting to annoy me.
I don't. Like, it annoys me too.
I mean, like,
he hasn't played the last 3 matches in a row for no reason.
It's so clear to see that he's the best centre back at the club. It's so clear to everyone to see he is the best centre back at the club. And, you know, I've been calling for him and Rodon to start side by side, you know, for months now, probably since December, January, and we still haven't seen it. I mean, are we ever going to see that?
Yeah, I mean, unless it's the back three, I guess we haven't seen it. So, I mean,
yeah, we haven't.
It's I don't know. And like I said, that's why it's getting all political and stuff, and it's really starting to put me in a downer mood, right? Like even if we're losing, if there isn't all of this, you know, back talk, political, you know, stuff, that's what it drains the energy out of me.
Yeah,
you know?
I know what you're saying, but it's always
otherwise I'd be on John's show. I'd be on John's show if I. I like
but it's always going to get like that when things aren't going right. You know what I mean? Because people are just trying to look at it with a magnifying glass and try make up their own reasons what's going wrong and stuff like that. So it's just a product of the way we're going at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean that's the hard part about it, and I think that's why I think that starts to get in the players' heads too. And even though I'm not really Jose out, you know, if Jose goes, you know, great, right?
Are you Jose in?
Not great. I am Jose agnostic, right? I've been Jose agnostic for the last year. I just don't care. I don't think that anybody else can do a better job. And so if he stays, I'm fine with the players that we have. But if he goes, okay, because nobody else could do a better job with the players we have. So my concern, my biggest worry, the only thing I guess you could say that makes me leaning Jose in is the fact that if Jose leaves, I'm afraid the Deadwood will stick around. And I think that's more detrimental to the club than Jose staying or leaving.
Yeah, I completely agree, because if Jose does leave, you're going to need another manager to come in, reassess the squad, wean out the Deadwood. I mean, we're going to have to start that whole process over and over again, aren't we? But
yeah, it's going to be at least 12 months before we see it.
Yeah, exactly. But on the game tomorrow, what's your score prediction?
Game tomorrow, I'm going to go 2-1 Tottenham. I tend to have bigger score lines than that just because I tend to be fairly more confident, but you know,
I know.
It's hard to say right now.
Yeah,
it's put me in the dumps. But you know, the shows that we do in the middle of the night for you guys are definitely helpful. They make me, we drink a little beer, have a little beer, and just kind of therapy sessions. But
sounds good.
Good fun for everyone.
Sounds good. Well, I better join at one stage, and I'm looking forward to joining your live stream, the Cup Final live stream.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do like a super stream. Like I'm gonna do 8 hours straight. So I think it's like 3 a.m. London time till like 10 or 11 a.m. London time. So
that is gonna be a monstrous stream. We're gonna have to inject
8 hours
keep
straight
pumping you with caffeine or something. How are you gonna stay awake all that time? On stream?
Yeah, I'm gonna have like a 10-pack of Monster energy drinks, or maybe I need to get some Caribou energy drinks. They don't sell them here in the U.S., but maybe I can get one of you guys to send me some or something. I'll drink those all night long. Stay up late and just rant. Hopefully, it's positive results. So, yeah, that's what we're looking forward
to. Well, pleasure as always, man, and I'll speak to you next time.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Come on, you Spurs.
See you in a bit.
Let's go. Who have we got on next?
Jamie.
Yes, Jamie. How's it going, Jamie?
Good, guys. You all right?
Yeah, all good, thanks. Are you coming into this game positive tomorrow?
Don't really know, to be honest, anymore.
That's a no, then.
Yeah, probably a little bit more to know than yes. I think throughout the season, I've probably been quite negative, to be honest, overall. But yeah, tomorrow, I think, I don't know, I have a feeling we might get a result. I mean, obviously going on past results, I would say no, but I don't know. I think we might nick something. Maybe a 2-1. I think we're going to see like a different Tottenham. I don't know. I think it's been building slightly. I wouldn't say like dramatic. But I feel he's going to change the formation a little bit and personnel. I think we're going to see Bale and maybe Dele as well. Because I think he's getting to the point now where he's got nothing left to lose. Because if you look defensive wise, obviously he's tried everything, and and I think he's done it on purpose. Because if you look at Jose, I think he's trying to send out a message to say, look, I'm rotated and I'm getting no joy with any of them. So I think attacking wise, I think he's going to do the same. So, you know, like with the Bale, because previously he said, oh, we wait till Bale's fit. He tells us when he's ready. But yeah, he didn't play a couple games ago, and then he put him on for 10 minutes. So,
and he played 2 full 90 minutes for Wales as well in between that.
But yeah, then he had a game's rest. And I felt like he could have played a bit more. I think it was too late, obviously, giving him 10 minutes. And I do think that's down to Jose. But then again, Bale, I think he plays a lot better when he plays for Wales in general. You can see the difference, you know. So but I do think he'll play. And I think, he might tweet it a bit because I think he's getting to that point now. Because for me, 4 players that have to be on the team sheet when possible is Kane, Bale, Son, and Dele. Even if Dele's not having the greatest game, I think they are 4 greatest attacking players. So I think they've got to start most games, and we haven't seen that throughout the season. He's frozen out Dele, and Bale's just come in and out. I think you've got to have a consistency. Same with the defense. If everyone's saying the defense is dire, then stick with 4 or 5 at the back. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I wonder. I can't see him bringing Dele back in at this late stage. Or is he going to really play him ahead of Lucas and Lamella and Lo Celso? I think it'll be very difficult for me. Very difficult for me to see Jose doing that right now. But it'll be very interesting if he does do something similar. I hope he brings in Bale, because I think the only real chance we have of having a good end to the season is just get a good feeling back in the squad, that feel-good factor, and I think Bale could bring that if he starts playing well again. I think that was probably one of the high points of our season when we had Bale, Son and Kane all in tandem. We were probably never happier than seeing them 3 play together.
For a whole total of 1 month.
I know, but that was probably happiest we've been all season.
Yeah, apart from when we were top of the league.
Yeah, so I think that's the only way. Do you think it's important getting that feel-good factor to have a good end to the season?
Oh, definitely, and that you need your best players. I was going to say, when you added Dele, I think they've only spent 5 minutes together in the whole season. Because I remember when all 4 of them were on the pitch and then Dele got substituted.
Well, against Fulham, they all started, didn't they? I think it was Fulham away, they all started.
Oh, okay. And apart from that game, then.
Yeah.
Definitely, and I think people like Bale, they can lift the mood, and you'd be surprised, because all we've said throughout the season, we've looked at it as a terrible season, but we're still amongst it in the mix. If you look at it, so it just shows you, if we're so bad and we're like 7th, imagine, a couple good results, it could change everything, and I think players like Bale can do it, especially if you have someone who can pass like him, take shots. I think it lifts the whole team's morale. And someone like that, definitely, if we can finish strong. And I do want to say, with the Dele issue, I felt Mourinho was out when he tried to get rid of Dele Alli, and Dele Alli stayed, because I think that's a message from Levy saying he's hedging his bets, because I think he's saying, no, he's not out the door, because maybe a new manager will manage him differently. So I think that was the starting point of the end of Jose. I mean, I may be wrong, he may stay, but I think his days are kind of numbered. And I also would like to see Potter come in if he was given a chance. Because like with Jose, they say, oh, he hasn't got the best players. But isn't that the whole point? Like the manager to take a team and improve them. So you can say that about any team. It's like, well, then he should only be managing top teams. But he's brought in to make the team improve. Mm-hmm. And if he can't do that, then I would like to give, someone who's maybe not got a reputation, but can certainly get something out of these players. But
look, at the end of the day, if David Moyes can get West Ham into the top 4, then why can't Jose get us into the top 4?
Yeah, on that sense, I wouldn't put all the blame on Jose. You have to look at the players as well. You have to look at everything. And if you look at the players, I don't know where their heart is, because I see them on social media. They're all laughing and joking. I don't even know if they're all that bothered. I'm sure they want to win, but they haven't got that hunger. Like Man City, you see De Bruyne, he's so angry if he hasn't made it 5-0 instead of 4, and you don't see that from Tottenham. We seem sort of half in it sort of thing. Yes, we want to win, but are we going to put the performance for 90 minutes? No. Oh, I can't be bothered to run back, or I played 70 minutes well. He's got to finish the game strong, and I just see their heads dropping, backing off, and we've lost that. We had it under Poch, but you could see it was disappearing.
It disappeared already by the time Mourinho came.
Yes. So, I mean, I'm not for Mourinho because I felt he wasn't the right manager. I know he's got the reputation like cups and everything. And I think we was too distracted by that because everyone was like, oh, if he wins a trophy. But what's the bigger picture? You know, even if we win a trophy, what happens next season? Okay, do we improve? You know, we might win a trophy and everyone's happy. But then next season, you got the same players and, you know, you might not do anything. So it's just delaying the obvious, I think. So I think we got too distracted from the domestic cups. And I think we should be focusing on I know we keep saying it longer term, but if we just focus on the team and, you know, get the right manager, build up, but that all starts from the top, you know. And I think Harry Kane, I think he'll stay for two reasons. Because one, I do think he's a one-man club. I think he's saying that because he wants a reaction from Levy. Because if he says I'm happy, then Levy's definitely not going to invest. He's going to say, "Oh, I've still got Kane. You know, I'll just bring in a couple more, maybe fringe players." But if he makes some noises, it might force Levy to rethink. And secondly, I don't think anyone would spend that money on him. I may be wrong, but I don't see him going abroad. So I think he'll stay. But yeah, I think if we just, you know, it's got to be a major restructure. But again, I don't see too much changing. I think he'll try and bring one or two in, let a couple go, and then, you know, and see where he goes from there. I can't see Levy doing too much difference because I haven't seen it in the past.
What's your score prediction before you go?
Well, it's hard. I was thinking he was going to lose, but I don't know. I just feel we'll nick it. I'm going to say 2-1.
I think that's the most popular scoreline on it so far. So, Jamie, thanks for coming on, mate, and we'll see you next time.
Good to see you, Jamie.
Cheers, guys. You too,
Come on,
guys.
Spurs.
Take care.
Come on.
Thanks.
All right, and one last guest of the day, and that is
Alex
Samuels. Alex,
Hello.
how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right. How are you guys?
Yeah, I'm good. A lot of people coming on here pretty much as subdued as Jose Mourinho has been in his press conference. That's how Spurs have been pretty much. How are you feeling coming into the game?
If there's a word to describe it, I think it's apathy, maybe. And I've said that a few times this season. So I just really feel like, I think the only motivation really is we can't really lose this lot because I can't wait for Europa League conference trips potentially next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Could you imagine?
If you thought Europa League group stage was a slog, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Although it would be absolutely fascinating, but oh goodness. So that is why we have to beat Everton if we want to find motivation to actually, I can't believe I'm saying it, get into Europa League. Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of big decisions to be made again in terms of selection for this week. He made a few changes for the game against Man United, bringing Dyer back into the fold. Still started with he actually said a 4-3-3 really in the first half against Man United. Played Lo Celso and Ndombele and Højbjerg in a 3, which kind of worked for a bit. How do you envisage Jose his team selection on Friday night?
Could be anything, to be honest. Some people said that, you know, just go for it. That's what Mourinho should do. Just stop the defending. If we win 3-2, 4-5-5, whatever, like just go for it. Mourinho won't do that though. He won't do that because Mourinho has never. When things go wrong, he just gets more set in his ways at clubs rather than go for it as people are wanting him to do. So I don't think that's going to happen. So maybe he'll rejig the defense a bit. I think the attack. Maybe he'll start Bale, but who knows? It's a really bad thing because if you start Bale, which I don't think is an awful idea. It's like saying, oh, all of them failed, and I know I've cast you out despite having a really good period, but can you dig me out of a hole now? Cheers. So he's in a very tricky position, actually, because the more that he exiles from the squad, the harder obviously it's going to get, even for the reintegration of them. I mean, Dele Alli's completely out of the fold. Absolutely. So that's not happening. It's just it's very bad at the moment, and I don't really know how we're going to line up, to be honest. And why isn't Alderweireld even starting? Don't even get me started on that. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I just rode on Alderweireld. Why can't we start both of them together in defence? I don't get it. I don't. And here's the thing I don't understand. If Mourinho's willing to bring Bale, like even on as a sub, then why is Alderweireld completely expunged from the team? So I don't get it. Was their falling out worse? Who knows? But yeah.
And I mean, the whole thing is just up in the air. I really can't fathom some of the things that have happened this season with some of the players. Do you think top four is completely gone, or can we catapult ourselves back up there if we win this weekend?
6 games left, I think.
7 games.
7 games left. If you want me to be honest,
yes, please.
I think it is done. And to be honest, I think it was done a while ago, in a sense, because yes, while the points weren't as bad as it was now, I think you just need to look at the consistency throughout our season and how we can't defend. And if we can't defend, it's very difficult to really, keep a consistent 3 points week in, week out. So I don't think we're good enough because the simple fact is we're not the top 4 teams in the country at the moment in terms of our form, or maybe even arguably squad. I don't know.
It's true, but we've got a lot of the teams in and around us, which means that they also must be not consistent as well. So does that not mean that we could potentially, if we can get our act together, sneak in there?
I hope so, but 6 points with only 7 games is with a lot of teams in and around us, and Liverpool now at the Champions League. It's a really tough ask. And look, we've got the worst record in the league for our second half performances and defending. So with that, I just can't see it. So really, and I've all of us haven't been wanting to rely on it, but it all really does come down to, I think it's the 22nd of April, the cup final. I can't remember. 25th. 25th. All comes down to that, doesn't it? And if Mourinho wins that cup, no matter how we might view if that's possible or not against Man City, then we can part ways in the summer potentially, and Mourinho can go, look, I've kept up my record of winning a trophy at every club I've been to, and that will probably be a good time to separate, in my opinion. Yeah.
All right, score prediction.
Everyone's going for that 2-1, aren't they? I'm gonna go with 2-1. 2-1. Because that's honestly, that I think that's what you can see. Because we're not going to keep a clean sheet. We all know that's not impossible. So,
it's going to be a late winner this one.
Yeah, look, I'll take a 90-minute winner at the end of the game, just as long as we get the 3 points at the moment.
Look, I'll take 3 points. I'll take 2-1 out of, you know what I mean? Like Calvert, I know he's not playing, but it's Luca Dean's backside. You know what I mean? Just give us the 3 points.
Exactly. But yeah, look, it's going to be a very interesting couple of weeks for Tottenham to see how we do in cup final. I think can really, maybe it's being too over dramatic, but that cup final is really going to see what our future holds, I think, in a few ways. And just before I go, I'm never buying Dulux products ever again. I haven't before, but if I ever have the option, if I ever need paint, I will never be buying them. There you go. So that sponsorship's worked out well.
Mic drop. Nice one, Alex. See you later,
They
man.
must be quaky in their
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
Nice one, Alex.
Welcome to a brand new member, Val Taylor. Welcome to Silver. Very nice to have you part of the family. So welcome.
He even says 3-2 to Spurs. That is his
go on.
prediction.
3-2 to Spurs. That's what we like to see. So welcome to the family, Val. But that is it from us today. That is your pre-match fan show, and that is your press conference reaction. Predicted lineup will be with you at some point this evening over the next couple of hours, and then tomorrow it is match day. We got a full lineup for you guys tomorrow, starting off at 6 o'clock with the Irish Hotspur takeover for his drive time phone in the pump up show. I can't remember what it's called. Pre-match pump up with David Harris coming your way tomorrow from 6 o'clock. So if you want to take part in that, do call in. The link will be in your community section. And then we move on to the live watch long and then the post-match fan show, when it's another chance for you to have your say live on the channel straight after the game. So we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow night. Thank you everyone for joining us today. And obviously the presser will be played right now. So if you want to watch it in full, do stay on. If you want to watch it a bit later, then the video is right on our channel right now. So if you do want to watch it, stay tuned. But thank you everyone for watching. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.
Thanks, Simon. Hello, Jose. Thank you for your time. Could you bring us up to date on any injury news, please?
Same. Good morning, everyone. Or good afternoon. Good afternoon. Same. Doherty, Davies out. Let's say first team players, everything the same. Then Scarlett, that I can consider a first team player because he's working with us every day. He got injured in the Youth Cup match, and he will not be available for a couple of weeks maybe.
Okay, I'm going to have to unmute you after every answer because there's a bit of feedback here. So you have to unmute yourself again now.
Okay, perfect. Jose, I don't mind me asking, how's Sonny, because he got a bit of social media abuse at the weekend?
I think it's okay. He's loved. He's loved here. He's loved at home. I believe he got the support that he needed here and at home. So I think it's fine.
Do you feel that comments made by people, pundits included, about the way he went down added to it, made it worse? The social media abuse provoked people to abuse him?
Can you repeat, please?
Do you think the words of some after the match, including pundits, criticising the way he went down from being hit in the face, did that provoke people in social media to increase the abuse against him?
Prefer not to comment. I'm sorry, Gary. I'm sorry. I prefer not to comment.
Big 9 days coming up. Nice to get it underway with a good result at Goodison.
Yeah, but independent of the result at Goodison and the result against Southampton, as you say, big 9 days, and the 9 days are going to end with the cup final, which of course for all of us is going to be an important moment. So we are not depending on the Goodison result to go to that final with the best spirit, with the best feelings. But in this moment, the final is still a bit I'm sorry, is still a little bit far. And of course, the Goodison match is very important. The distance between the two teams is very, very short. Of course, they have one match in hand in relation to us, but the distance is very, very short. They have similar objectives than us. They are going to fight with us and with other clubs to try the best possible position and see if we and them can get an European position. So it's an important match tomorrow. So we need to separate the waters. We need to say the cup final is important, but is not the match tomorrow. And we need to focus totally on a very difficult match.
I know you've got a lot on your plate. I've been asked to ask you by my bosses, so I better do it. The players' unions, internationally and domestically, are asking for these new concussion substitutes to not be permanent, but to be temporary. So the player is more likely to agree to come off to be assessed because he knows he can go back on if everything's all right. Do you have any view on that in this busy time or not at the moment?
I think it makes sense, but I've learned over the past couple of years to be just quiet, and my opinion is not important, and to accept what is coming. So many different rules, so many things changing. You have just to accept the way it is. But in a very simple comment, I think it makes sense.
I know you're a fan of dogs. Do you like the Old English Sheepdog, your new sponsor?
What's that?
Dulux, their logo is an Old English Sheepdog. I know you're a fan of dogs. They've unveiled the club today a new paint sponsor. Just wonder whether you'd seen it and what you thought of it.
What's that?
Don't worry about it, man. It's fine.
No.
It's fine. Leave it, mate. You crack on.
Okay. Thanks, Gary. We'll go to
Cheers.
George. George.
Thanks, Simon. Jose, hello. 18 points, I think you've dropped from winning positions. Can you expand? It sounded like you wanted to on Sunday as to why this has happened.
I know why it happened, and I know also that you can look at it in a different perspective. A team that starts matches well and start winning matches means something positive. Means something positive that you like to forget, the positive aspect of that. But I agree with you in the sense of when you are in winning positions and you lose points from winning positions, there are also negative things side by side to it.
But if you add them points on, you know, that really propels you up the league. What is the reasons? Why are the players? Why does it keep happening again and again?
That's what I'm not ready to discuss with you. I think it has to do with some of our qualities as a team, but I'm not ready to discuss with you.
When will you be ready to discuss that?
Maybe never.
Okay, we're going to go to Ellie Gold. Ellie.
Hey there, Jose.
Hey.
I noticed in the training photos this week, I know you often involve academy players in training, but there seems to be a lot of the development squad in this week. I just wonder if there was any reasoning behind that.
We did a training session in different groups and with different, even in different pitches, and we were trying to develop different qualities. And to do that, we separate our players in different groups, and we need some young players to come and to help us on developing that training session. At the same time, it's not just about using them to try to develop our qualities, because every time they come to us is also a very positive experience for them. So the academy boss, Dean, is always very, very open. He likes to help us. He knows that we also help him, helping in the development of their players. So it was just a day that was good for us because they helped us, and was good for them because we helped them. But as I was saying in the first Gary question, we have 20 players available. out of 22, we have 20 players available. It's not a question of injuries or not enough players or taking these young players to the next match. No, is not about that at all.
Can I just ask you, I know you talk about the defensive process a lot, about the whole team's defending, but how important is it for you to eventually settle on a centre-back pairing that you're going to use more often than not? Because obviously you've given a lot of equal time to your centre-backs this season.
You know, because one of the things that you sometimes, I'm not saying you personally, you general media, and also for players, the general perception is that everybody wants to play, everybody wants opportunities. When they don't do it, you are always asking for the players that are not playing and why they are not playing. So you can look at it in a different perspective. You can say should play always the same two, or you can say is fair that kind of rotation that gives opportunities equally to everybody.
Okay, Mark Scott, have you got your hand up because you can't raise it? Is that right? Okay, Mark, we'll come to you and then we'll finish with Jonathan Ville. Mark.
Hi, Jose. Just looking at where the two teams are on the table, do you think that if someone loses on Friday, that's them out of the Champions League equation?
No, we are very close to each other, but there are more clubs around. There are some more with a few more points than us. There are a few others with a few less points than us, but I think with still more than 20 points on the table, I think it's still open. But of course, it's this kind of match where the winner gets the points and stop the loser to get them. Or if you draw, you stay basically in the same position. So understandably, I don't think anything is going to be decided in there. But of course, if one of the two teams wins, gets an advantage that can be important in the direct duel, not in relation to all the others that are around, but between Everton and Tottenham, if one team wins, of course, gets an important advantage to the other.
What have you made of Everton's season overall? Obviously, a little bit of a sticky patch recently, but overall, their campaign under Carlo, how do you think they're doing?
I think they go in the right direction. They got a big coach, one of the best in the world. They got important players and players of, I would say, two directions. I don't know how to explain, but they get, for example, a player coming from Real Madrid, a player coming from Barcelona, or two from Barcelona in the case, and at the same time they get the young guy that comes from Norwich. People from different not directions,
backgrounds, different
formations, or but they have a very good squad, and I think this is just the beginning for them. I believe that with Carlo, quality, experience, the work, the squad improving, I think this is just the beginning for them. And of course, this Everton is different than an Everton of previous seasons, and for sure next season they are going to be different again for better. It's the start of a process, and nobody better than Carlo to be in charge. So I see a very good future for them.
And just finally, you've played them a couple of times this season in the league and the FA Cup. It depends obviously on injury updates from Everton, who's available. But what are the main strengths that you expect to have to counter against them on Friday?
They have everything, as I was saying, starting with a good coach. They didn't play Europe this season. They had complete weeks to work and to develop things. They can play in different systems. During the season, you can see how many different systems they played. They have talent in attack. They have quality in midfield. They have physicality behind. They can play with the back five. They can play with the back four. They have tactical culture. They are a team that you can see plenty of time to work and to develop. So they are a very good combination and a very good team.
Okay, Jonathan Veal to finish.
Hi, Jose. We saw Matt Doherty in training pictures yesterday. Is he quite close to a return? And also, how long do you think Ben Davies will be out for?
It's risky to say. Matt Doherty did the warm-up with us. So if you saw Matt on pictures, he did the warm-up with the group and then immediately went to spot science for individual work. So it's not like he's ready for tomorrow. He's not ready for tomorrow. But he's coming. Ben Davies not even close to that. But I would say after 51 matches or so, in the last couple of months of the season, to arrive in this situation only with 2 players injured, I would say that we cannot complain, because the work has been good and the squad as a whole is in a good situation.
Cool. Can I just ask, we've had confirmation this week that there's going to be 2,000 Spurs fans at the Cup final next week, and obviously it's not as many as we were hoping for, but it's a good start.
The information I got is that I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but the information I got is that we are going to have 2,000 fans. Yeah.